สวัสดีครับอาจารย์ครับผม
Hello and welcome to another Dhamma meeting where we will discuss the Buddhist practices of charity, morality, and meditation. Everyone is welcome to join. We are waiting for our first participant. How are you doing, B? Okay?
Yes, I'm fine. Thank you, Prajan.
Okay. Is your dad getting better?
Oh, yes, he can walk now.
Okay. Okay. Tonight we have our first participant, which happened to be Dr. BL. You're the first today.
I didn't expect that to be this fast.
I know. You can wait. You don't want to say anything, you can wait.
No, it's okay. It's nice. I was thinking of that. I think you last time I didn't have time to participate. You were talking about somebody was asking about Paticcasamuppada, the dependent co-arising path, and so before even our senses are active, there is in the mind is already working towards something, and the senses. From what you said, what I understood is the sensors then go and pick up these things, more data, right? So underneath there's avidya pacha sankar, sankara vijnana, vijnana pacha nama rupa. Up to that level, there is nothing happening in our conscious mind. But as soon as there is something, but it's underneath, and suddenly the sensors start working. Sensors are turned on to look, to taste, to grab, and then salata pacha, passa pacha vedana. Then the feelings, cravings all starts. Is that how it works?
Well, the point here is it doesn't matter how it works. The point here is what to do to our
Yes.
advantage.
Let go of the craving.
Yes, that's all. Just stop the craving, and then you stop the whole process.
Yeah, so it's a cycle, right? It's not like a linear process. It's continuing.
It's yes, like you say, it's always in the mind. Avijja is in the mind.
Avijja is in the mind.
With ignorance or delusion, then the mind is driven in the wrong direction.
By the sankharas.
Yes.
Okay.
Instead of staying inside with peace, it is driven toward the sensual objects.
So are those your defilements in a way, like taints or asava, what bubbles up in your mind? You say, okay, do this, look at, kind of a submerge, some kind of memories or habits.
Yes, it can be anything. It's just the driving force that keep this mind going after birth.
So this is the generation of whole suffering. That is, in a way, you can say it's the first noble truth is a generation of dukkha, right? With old age, sickness, and then start death. full cycle again, right? At the end.
Yes, ignorance doesn't see that birth is suffering. See, ignorance see the birth as being pleasurable, because it's a path to pleasure. You need birth in order to have sensual pleasures. See? So you never look at birth as suffering. Only the
I see.
Buddha.
Yeah, that's a unique thing. I mean, everything we celebrate birthdays.
Yes.
When we are born, we celebrate.
When you get a baby, everybody's happy, right?
Yeah, and only the child is crying.
You never thought that this is the start of process of suffering.
Yeah, so
All
only
the time, when you come out of the womb, you need to do your own breathing already.
Yes, and it's coming through the womb is not easy. Like you have to contract, you're just squished, coming through and crying, and everyone is happy, but the baby is crying.
That's right. But ignorance or delusion prevent us to see this as being suffering. We tend to see it as being a good event, a happy event. Birth is a happy event.
So we should not celebrate our birthdays all like every year, maybe.
I always recommend my students to celebrate the no birth birthday.
Yeah, happy no birthday.
Yeah, happy no birthday.
Yes, that's a good one. I use that line too. Yeah, I think that's what the Buddha saw when he saw the whole thing process as a house being built by a carpenter, and he thought, "Oh, I found this carpenter. There's no more birth for me." Aneka jati sansarang. He remember that stanza. He said, Finally, I found it."
He found the
All
house
the
builder, the
house
house
builder.
which is tanha, the cravings.
Mm.
He's the one that keep building houses
Building
all
the
the
house,
time.
house after house. This house is broken. Another house will be
Get a new house.
get a new house. And again, the same. You have to keep cleaning. You have to. It's not stable. It's sankhara. Yes.
That's right. Everything is anicca, dukkha, anatta.
Yeah. Yes. So that's interesting how this cycle goes on. I think one of your another participants are just moving in now.
Yeah, just wondering what she is.
I got that first time in the whole history of Zoom sessions.
How are you, Ajaan?
You got how is you?
Good, Ajaan. So nice to see you. Yeah.
I haven't seen you for a few weeks. Did come
last
in,
week, the week
last
before
week.
we were there, but last week we joined, but we couldn't speak to you. That's okay.
I see. We ran out of time.
Yes. But we listened, we learned, so that was very good. Yes.
So when you say stilling is happiness, stilling of the thoughts is like the ultimate happiness. Stilling. So in the jhanas, you still the thoughts temporary, but stilling of entire sankhara, like the asravas, stilling completely without any craving. That's nibbana, right? Stilling is happiness.
You have to still the cravings. You can think, but don't think with cravings. That's all. Like the Buddha, the Arahant, they still think, but they don't think with craving.
So cravings are also thoughts, right? I mean,
Craving is a form of thought, which build up rebirth and suffering.
Yes.
So it's like a specialized form of desire, like a thought, right? Craving, wanting.
You can think you want something or you don't want something. See? So the right thinking is to think of not wanting to get anything from this world. The worldly possession.
So world has no shelter. That's what Buddha said. World is slave for craving.
So if you actually stop the thought process, thinking, so it stops everything.
Yeah, it's you can't by force. You can't do it. It's by practice, right? The meditation. That's where it leads to. It's a complete stillness.
The goal is not to stop thinking. The goal is to stop craving. And craving is just one form of thinking. There are other form of thinking which you don't have to stop. Like thinking with loving kindness. You don't have to stop them.
Oh yes.
So it's just like the final arrow. Once you pull it out, everything else kind of falls away. Just that target the
Craving.
one.
Just the
one-
craving.
Yes, one dot.
When you stop craving, then you stop attachment. Then you stop new existence, and
So
new birth.
delusion and craving falls together at the same time, or craving first and then the delusion
No,
goes in?
delusion first.
Delusion first.
Not knowing where the real happiness is.
Hmm.
That's the problem of delusion.
Hmm.
It doesn't know where true happiness is. So it took the gamma set, the sensual world as a place to find happiness.
Hmm.
So it takes birth, so that it can use the body to access the sensual objects, and eventually the sensual pleasure that come with it.
So
And-
sensual pleasures, there is no ultimate happiness. They burn, right? They come, they stay
Yeah.
there, they go away.
They don't give you they don't
effort.
give you contentment. That's the problem.
Yeah,
Never.
it's the effort.
It gives you brief satisfaction or brief joy, but then it disappears like smoke or cloud.
Yeah, I think Buddha said it's like a dog licking the bone. There's no meat, but keep licking.
Yeah. So the true happiness is in peace of mind, in first jhana, then nibbana. Jhana is only a brief
Temporary stop.
Yeah. To make it permanent, you need to get rid of the craving.
So it's like a refuge for the mind to stay, but job is not done yet. Further work to be done. At least that's a first resting place for the mind.
Yes, that's what most people before the Buddha's time. That's all they could do is to enter into jhana. They don't know anything about nibbana, permanent jhana. But the Buddha, he's not happy with just the jhana.
Yes.
He wants something more, something permanent. So he eventually discovered the Four Noble Truths.
Truth, yeah. Yeah, he was not happy with the Alara Kala Muddaka, the first teachers.
Two teachers.
Two teachers, they went up to Arupa Jhanas, but
They can only teach him the jhana, which you can only enter briefly and come out again. And when you come out, you still experience dukkha from your craving, craving for the body not to get old, get sick, or die.
So the Buddha was, I think, incorporated the same sort of concept, same ideas, but he took it a bit further with the insight. Beyond that.
Yeah, he wants permanent peace, no dukkha, no suffering. With jhana, there's no suffering when you enter into jhana.
Yes.
But when you come out of jhana, suffering returns. When you think of your body getting old, getting sick, and die.
So
You don't
I
know
think
what the reason behind of this suffering.
Yeah.
Eventually, the Buddha discovered is the craving for the body not to get old, get sick, and die. It's the craving for sensual pleasure that's caused the mind to have craving not for the body to get old, get sick, or die, because it needs the body as a tool to get to sensual pleasure.
But at least temporarily, till you get there, at least you have jhana.
Temporary refuge, I think.
Yeah.
I think it's not done yet, but it's some sort of refuge for the
So
mind, right?
If you can stop sensual cravings for sensual pleasure, then you don't need the body. See, once you don't need the body, then you don't care whether the body get old, get sick, or die or not.
So this is a replacement for the five sensual pleasures, the jhana pleasures.
That's right.
And then you have something to hang on to
Until
you get to the across the
You
water.
change it into the permanent one. The jhana gives you temporary pleasure. And if you want it to be permanent, then you have to get rid of the craving, which is the one that caused the jhana to disappear. When you come out of jhana, craving start to work again. And then the peace you gain from jhana will disappear, replaced by restlessness and agitation. When you have cravings, your mind starts to agitate, right? Will I get this or not?
Yeah. So even jhana is created, right? It's constructed. So there is a subtle amount of suffering even in jhana, although this is a blissful state of mind, but it's being constructed. So there, it's going to go away, and it's maybe a subtle form of suffering when it's not there.
It's temporary.
Temporary.
It's anicca, dukkha, anatta. Anything that is temporary will give you dukkha. So even after you have given up your craving for sensual pleasure, you have to now give up your jhana, your
Jhana,
craving
yes.
for jhana. That's when you get to Nibbana. Yeah.
So is that called vibhavatana, like bhavatana,
Bhavatanha,
vibhavatana?
vibhavatana, bhavatana, craving
Same.
for rupa
Rupa
jhana,
jhana. Yeah, rupa jhana, the one.
craving for arupa jhana. So you have to give up all these cravings. Then there will be no more craving. Then there will be no more agitation or restlessness in the mind. And then there will be no rebirth. So first step is get to jhana
Jhana, yeah.
in order to give up your sensual pleasure, craving for sensual pleasure. Once you have
You have
given up
to.
your craving for sensual pleasure, you become addicted to your jhana. So you have to give up that also.
Yeah.
It's like
So
it's like people, doctor prescribe painkillers to
yes, that's true.
after the illness has been dealt with, the patient become addicted to painkillers.
Painkiller.
So they have to stop being
That's
addicted to
another
painkiller.
problem.
Yeah.
Second problem.
You're
adding a problem.
Jhana is like painkiller
But
to deal with
jhana
your
is
suffering for sensual pleasures.
better addiction than.
So you said like the sensual desire for the nature, like for example, going to the forest under a tree, looking at like gardens, flowers, whatever. That's more less subtle, but still there's sensuality. But you said it's more like a spiritual pressure. I think the word you used was spiritual pleasure type of thing.
No, actually, we're not going after this thing at all. We need this just seclusion, solitary, away from the defiled sensual objects, objects that are created by defilement, like anything you see on the street or in the stores. They are sensual objects created by the defilement. But if you go into the forest, these are sensual objects created by nature.
Nature. They're neutral, is it?
They're neutral. They're not. They don't stimulate any defilement, any craving. When you see a tree, you don't have any desire to own the tree or to buy a tree.
But when you see an apple,
when you see an apple, you see a car, you want to own it, you want to buy it.
Or roses.
yes, that's why I'm trying to find a way out, bypass doing my roses in the.
But then I told him it's an addiction too, not
It's
like
an
in the
addiction.
forest.
I think so. Now
But
I get it.
some natural thing it's up to the mind of each individual. They can be addicted to something natural, like you said, the roses.
Yes.
It's a natural thing, but
Yeah.
you can become addicted to them also.
Yes.
But I see the anicca of the sankara. The winter kill so many roses, so all is impermanent. Like see all the black canes, they're going to die and they're reborn again. That's Dhamma right there.
So you need seclusion. You need natural setting
Yes.
to prevent the mind from creating sensual craving.
So less disturbance is the better. That's why Buddha said to go under a tree or go to an empty hut or whatever. Just
Empty
like
space,
empty space.
And then you can then concentrate on your meditation to enter into jhana.
It's true.
Once you have jhana, then you have a better form of happiness than sensual pleasure. So you can give up sensual pleasure. When you see that sensual pleasure can only lead you to more suffering, more rebirth.
True, because it's also there's karmic consequences of sensual pleasures, right? If you want to eat something, somebody has to cook, somebody has to grow these somebody has to catch the fish. So you had to pay off some debt. But in the jhana, there is no debt because it's created by your own doing, right? It's through the mind, but you're not
Yes.
paying off any debt to the others.
You
The
have
five senses.
you have this pleasure inside yourself, but you don't know it.
So
So you go seek
spontaneously.
for other things to give you help to make you happy. But the true happiness is to calm your mind, still your mind. First with mindfulness, then
Yes.
you'd have a temporary peace of mind. Then the next step, when you come out of jhana, then you want to get rid of any craving that start to disturb the mind.
Yeah. So is that equanimity state of mind that when you see, you only see; when you hear, you only hear, because you want to bring
That's
mind
when
back
you
to
that's when you
equanimity.
have wisdom to see that everything is anicca, dukkha, anatta. So this will stop you from having any cravings for what things that you see or hear.
So at that, then and there, you stop it rather than going after them,
Right.
the craving.
As soon as you see a cup of coffee and you have craving for it, then you say, "Oh, this is suffering." And
Oh,
you
it's
see a
tough.
piece of cake, and you say, "Oh, this is suffering."
I just about to make a cup of coffee, but maybe I'll give it up now.
Yeah. Ask yourself first, do you really need this cup of coffee or not?
Yeah.
If it's essential, then you have to have it. But if not essential, then this is craving. If you have to eat, then you have to have a rule when to eat and how much to eat.
Yeah.
Because you want to eat to support the body,
Body,
not to
not the
support your
mind.
craving.
Yeah, mind. So that's why emotional eating. People eat because they want to feel good, but it's not that
Yes.
you're hungry.
No, they're full. The stomach's full. The body's overweight, but they still. You're
Mind
not
is
eating
empty.
for the body. The body say enough. It's too much food for me. But the mind say I still want to eat.
Eat something to satisfy the senses, just for the temporary relief.
Temporary pleasure. When you have your cup of coffee, you feel good. But only an hour later, then you need another cup.
That coffee addiction then, begins. Caffeine addiction.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you
Nice
so
talking to
much.
you.
Thanks. Nice talking to you. I'm so happy I got the first
Okay.
place today.
Good. Next, we'll go to Jordan, also from Toronto. Okay, Jordan.
Hello, Tanajan.
Yes,
I'm
what can I
grateful
do
to be
for
here.
you?
I'm very happy to be here listening, and I don't have any questions coming to me these days. I feel quite satisfied because I've been following your teachings for quite a long time, and now I feel like my questions are sort of answered in my head a lot more quickly now.
It's more about doing it than learning.
Yes, at this point, I think my practice has to get to a place where I might have a reason to ask a question. But at this point, it's like I have Tanajan sort of with me throughout the day, and so.
Okay, just stay mindful. This is the first thing you need to do all the time, is being mindful all the time.
Okay.
You can practice every day wherever you are. If you are mindful, it means you're practicing. You're controlling your mind. The mind is like a wild horse. You want to tame it. And mindfulness is the key, is the tool you need to tame your mind with. So please, if you want to advance, progress in your practice, then you can practice every day, even if wherever you are, if you can control your mind by being mindful with a mantra or mindful with the activity of the body.
Okay.
Okay.
This is a great thing to be able to. It's such a simple thing to keep in mind throughout the day, and that I can start again at any time when I forget throughout the day.
And it's simple also to forget all the time.
It is, but it's just one thing to remember, right? So
Yeah.
so I think I can do that.
Maybe you should write it down on your palm, so that you can see every time you look at your palm.
You know me too well.
Mindfulness.
I do that. I do write things on my hands sometimes, but that's a good thing. I should tattoo it there. Yeah.
All right. If nothing, I'll move on. Okay.
Okay. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Next, Professor Ken from Switzerland.
Good afternoon, Ajaan. I also don't have any questions arising at the moment, just doing the practice.
Yes. Mindfulness all the time. And meditate as much as possible.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Thank
Go
you.
to Kwan Liman from Malaysia.
Ajaan,
Yes.
Ajaan, time passes so fast. 1 week, second week, and then now third week. But it seems like just a few hours ago. So it just passes too fast.
Well, time is constant, it's moving constant. It's our perception of it that's making it fast or slow. When we're happy, time seems to move fast. When we're not happy, time seems to move slow. If you're in jail, you think, oh, you know, things, time doesn't move at all. But if you're outside of jail and you're occupied with doing things, then time seems to move faster. But in reality, time remains the same, constant. The rate of the movement of time is constant, 24 hours a day.
Yeah, but I feel it's just like yesterday that I spoke to Ajaan, like last week was like just a few hours ago. Yeah.
If you want to look at time, look at time like a big serpent, a giant serpent, a giant snake that slowly eat up all the animals. Time will eat up everything that we have in this world. Time will slowly gobble everything up. You, me, and everything will be eaten up by time. So we better hurry before our time is up. Better do what we can now when we have the time to do it.
Yes, that's correct. Yeah, that's right.
Don't waste your time on other things.
Mm.
Spend your time on the Eight Noble Path.
Yes. Yeah,
Eightfold Path.
Yes.
That's
Yeah,
what you
otherwise,
should,
sorry, Ajaan.
this is the only thing you should do is follow the Noble Eightfold Path. Other things, they don't really give you any lasting, lasting result. Everything is temporary. Okay.
Yes. Yes. Otherwise, if time is catching up, and if I die, if I come back, I have to go for more retreats, go for more sitting, walking, and the whole cycle of dukkha continues and repeat again. Right, Ajaan?
You might not come back and meet the Buddha's teaching, and so you don't know anything about retreat or anything. That's a
Ajaan,
real problem.
yeah. If I die, will I still remember my practice and what I have learned, even though if there is no teacher? I mean, at any time.
Well, you can ask yourself now, what can you remember right now?
I can remember.
It has to come by practice only, not by memory. What you memorize can be forgotten. What you have committed by practice will remain with you because it become a habit. See? To tell yourself to be mindful and to be mindful by practice is two different things. If you practice mindfulness, eventually you will become mindful. Then this will go with you. But if you just remember and say, I have to be mindful, this doesn't go with you.
Yes.
It's a doing that what you do, you will take it with you. What you remember you will not take it with you. It has to be experiential, not memory. Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Ajahn.
You're welcome. Next, Samanji from Sri Lanka.
Good evening, Ajahn. Nice to see you.
Yes, what can I do for you?
I have some questions.
Go
Actually,
ahead.
my first three questions I just read you the translation of your book, Ajahn, Traveling Man.
Yes.
Actually, in your book, actually you take the example of a teacher giving students a test without any prior announcement. I think what you mean by that is that life is also like this. There's no fixed date, no warning. And so we have to be ready every single day, meditate and practice.
Yes.
So that we can end samsara.
You can lose something you love suddenly without being, being warned that you're going to lose something. Anything can happen. So you have to be prepared for everything. Be prepared to lose everything.
Okay. And every single day we have to do good karma so that any moment our life can end.
Well, good karma will give happiness to your mind, to your spiritual beings when you depart from this world. It's the good karma that will send you to heaven, not the bad karma. So the Buddha said, avoid doing bad karma, do only good karma. If you still have to have rebirth, this is the two things you need to do. But if you don't want to have rebirth, then you have to do the third thing, which is purify your mind. Get rid of your cravings and defilements.
Okay, thank you for your answer. And my second question is also from your book. There you say kilesas, defilements, will invent 108,000 different excuses to stop us from practicing. So how do we recognize when it's those kilesas speaking and not genuine wisdom? How do we know that?
Well, whenever you're not practicing, you find excuses to do something else, and this is defilement. In order to know whether it's defilement or not, you have to ask yourself, this thing that you have to do, is it really essential for your existence or not? You really have to do it or not for staying alive. If not, then you shouldn't do it. It's all defilement. Like going on holiday, is this essential or not for your existence? No. And then instead of going on a holiday, go on a retreat. Go on a meditation retreat instead. Buying things also. You want to buy something, do you really need this thing or not? Can you live without it or not? If you can live without it, then you don't need it.
Okay, fine.
So this is the way to gauge whether your action is defilement or not defilement. Really depend on the thing that is essential. for you.
Okay.
And if
Okay,
you
thanks.
think, if you consider about practicing, then you have to ask yourself, this practice, does it help me to move forward spiritually or not?
Okay.
If it doesn't, then this is defilement.
Okay. For example, Ajaan, a person who has earlier decided to stick to a religious life, if that person suddenly feels that I should pursue my studies, maybe a master's or a PhD, and I should perceive that rather than sticking to a religious life. So his desire to have maybe perceive his education to is a defilement. Can we take it as a defilement as well?
Anything that's not spiritual is all defilement.
Okay.
If you want to have a PhD, a master degree in economy, this is worldly stuff.
Okay.
Any worldly stuff mean they are all defilement.
Okay, Tanisha.
Any action that doesn't lead you to Nibbana is considered non-defilement.
Okay.
So you can, there are only 8 things you have to do, the Noble Eightfold Path. That's all you need to do, which is spiritual, which is worthy of your action, good for your action, good for your mind.
Thank you for your answer. And my third question is also from your book. Ajaan, you compare Chitta, the mind, to someone who keeps replacing a broken phone, always craving a new body. How do we break the cycle of constantly coming back to be reborn? Like, where should we start?
Stop using the phone. Stop relying on the phone for your pleasure. Right now we rely on the body as our means of having pleasure. We need to go see, hear things. We need to have a body. So you have to stop sensual pleasure by starting with keeping the 8 precepts, abstaining from sensual pleasure activities, like eating as you like. You can only allow to eat only at a certain time, and after that you no longer can eat. You can eat to survive, to keep the body going, but you don't want to eat for pleasure. You don't want to see movie, go to entertainment and things like this. So keeping the 8 precepts is the start of stopping relying on your body for pleasure. But not enough, because the craving still exists. The precept only prevent it from getting into action, but the craving is still inside, and it's keep pushing the mind to break the precept. So the next step is to calm the mind down, so you can stop the cravings inside the mind. Once you have jhana, then you can stop the craving temporarily while you're in jhana. But after you come out of jhana, your craving for sensual pleasure can still arise. Then when it arises, then you have to use wisdom to see that if you do what your sensual pleasure craving asks you to do, it will lead you to more suffering, because whatever you get from sensual pleasure is only temporarily. So then you'll stop your craving for sensual pleasure permanently, and you see that going after sensual pleasure will eventually lead you to suffering, because sensual pleasure is temporarily also. It's not permanent. It gives you a brief pleasure, but when it's gone, it leaves you empty, sad, and lonely again. So then you can stop your craving for sensual pleasure permanently when you see it with wisdom.
Okay. Thank you for your answer. Those questions were based from your book, Ajaan. Based on now, I have some general questions. Do I have the time to go ahead?
Sure, go ahead as
Yeah.
much as you want.
Now, does compassion for all beings include compassion for those who cause great harm? I mean, such as criminals, rapists.
Yes, you don't harm them. You only have to apprehend them and put them in a place where they cannot harm other people. But you should not kill them. There shouldn't be any death penalty in this world if you have compassion.
Yeah. And my next question is, can a person who has never suffered in this life, because a person who has never seen any suffering in this life, can he achieve, can he enter the path during this life because he doesn't know that there's any sort of suffering in this life? He still thinks that this world is a bed of roses.
Yes, if you don't see any suffering, then you won't be stimulated to solve the problem, to get rid of the suffering. But everybody who's born in this world will have to face suffering from the time of birth to the time of death. You have suffering from when you come out of the womb, you have to do your own breathing already. That's one suffering. Then you have to look for food to survive, look for the four requisites of life. So it's constant suffering in your life, but you don't think of it as suffering, that's all, because you want to live, you want to survive. So you think it's necessary to do this thing, but in fact they are all suffering. But you don't see it, that's all. Only a smart person, the Buddha said, can see suffering in life. Like the Buddha, when he saw for the first time, a sick man, an aging man, and a dead man, he became very sad when he saw this thing, when he knew that it's going to happen to him also. But people don't think like that. When you see a sick man, you don't think that you're going to get sick, right? When you see an old person, you don't think you're going to get old. When you see a dead person, you don't think you're going to die. You don't see suffering because you don't think about it properly. You don't have right view of samadhi.
Okay. Thank you for your answer. And my next question is, this is from a non-Buddhist friend of mine. It's what advice would you give to a lay person who wants to bring more stillness and awareness into an ordinary busy life?
It's nearly impossible. You have to separate because in the worldly life, your mind is constantly agitating, driven by your cravings. And if you want stillness, then you need to leave, to go stay in solitude and to calm your mind down. So it's impossible to have both.
Okay, understand. Do I have the time? I have two more questions.
Yes, please go ahead.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
What happens to the sense of self during deep states of meditation, and how does that change how we live?
Well, when you meditate and when you calm your mind down, your perception and your thinking stops. So the sense of self disappears with that temporarily.
Okay.
And all you have left is just knowing. So you see the true nature of the mind as be just a knowing element. There's no self in the mind. No, the self is created by the mind's thinking or perception.
Okay, Tanajan. Then my last question is now, what is the biggest misconception ordinary lay people have about the nature of suffering? I mean, dukkha.
Misperception, they don't see dukkha. They see life is happiness. To be born is to be happy. This is the biggest
Okay.
misperception of things. The Buddha
Okay.
said life is suffering. When you're born, you have to get old, get sick, and die. People don't
Okay.
see this as suffering. They think it's part of life, so they're willing to accept it theoretically. But when things happen, they cannot stop themselves from crying or being sad.
Okay, Tanaji. Actually, the people who come across or who face with a lot of maybe tragedies and all, it's easier for them to understand or feel that this life is full of suffering than those who are leading a very happy life, isn't it?
They might see suffering, but briefly only. After a while, it will disappear from their mind. They don't want to think about it. They want to look at the happy side of life all the time. So they tend to forget that life is suffering. They only look at their life as being happy. Because it's what they always go after, the pursuit of happiness, right? Everybody who is born into this world go after happiness. Nobody go after suffering. But we cannot avoid suffering because that's part of the nature of life. And we try to ignore it or forget about it.
Okay.
So we keep coming back. No matter how much suffering we have to go through, we forget about them. And we only think of the happiness that we can get from this life.
Okay, thank you for your answer, Tanada. Actually, that's all I have for today. Wish you good health and happiness. So nice talking to you, Tanaja.
Thank you for your question.
Yeah.
Keep them coming, okay?
Sure, will do.
All right. See you again.
Sure.
Next, we'll go to Rohini from the UK.
Good evening, Ajaan. I have no specific question at the moment.
You happy being alone
Yes.
or being sad?
No, I'm very happy. I'm very happy because I can practice the Ajaan's teaching. I can put it to practice. Ajaan's teaching answered all my questions, and so I don't waste the few years left by mixing with other people or socializing, or I just like to be alone so that I can practice.
Try to prepare yourself for sickness. The
Yeah.
body's gonna get older and gonna get more
Yes,
sick.
yes. I understand the truth,
Try to
the
prepare
reality, yeah, the truth.
that your mind will not get any suffering from the sickness of the body.
Yes. I try, I work hard, but still my defilement pulling me back. Only thing I want to do is follow Ajaan's teaching and get into Jhana, but I'm still not successful. So I have to keep trying. So
be mindful all the time, from the time you get up to the time you go to sleep.
Yeah. Even I occasionally go out for a walk or something, and I just keep thinking, I keep thinking of Ajaan's teaching and mindful on my steps, and so I feel I'm much better than how I was few years ago before I came to know Ajaan's teaching. So I'm very grateful, Ajaan.
At least now you know what to do.
Yes, I know what to do, and
what
also
your goal is now.
Yeah, I also know actual the teaching of the Buddha, because I would say I was totally lost and misled by different, before I'm talking about the before I met Ajaan's teaching, and misled by so many other things online and other religious others monks teaching and books. And Ajahn explained actual teaching of the Buddha in simple manner so that anybody can understand if they put their mind to it.
Yes, it's very simple. The Buddha teaches 3 steps.
Yeah.
Precept,
And
morality, meditation, and
yeah.
wisdom. That's all there is to it.
And I could not really, now I understand very well, because the root cause of all our suffering is greed, hatred, and illusion. The root cause and everything else actually originate from these 3. Because I know that everything that I suffered in my life, like for an example, if I think about my life and I was thinking of my daughter, and it's actually attachment, greed, and I want this way, that way. So I suffered a lot. So now
you let go of your attachment.
now completely, I can't even remember now anymore.
Yeah.
So
It's her business, whatever she wants to do.
yeah, and also I know that she's not. I mean, we are just going through the samsara, just. And also, I was worried about my mom.
We are fellow travelers.
Yes, and I was so worried about mom after I lost my mom. I could not really make up my mind. I was so worried, keep thinking of my mom. I know she never come back, but now I can let go. And
yeah.
Yes, thank you for your teaching.
Good.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah. One more thing I would like to ask. Does Sotapanna person still have any craving for sensual pleasures?
Definitely. You still have sexual desire, which you
And
need to
also,
use as honey.
Other things like food.
Yes, they are
sleep.
sensual pleasure. They are sensual pleasure.
Okay.
The Sotapanna can give up fear for death and sickness or pain, but they still have the desire for sensual objects, especially the sexual desire, which you need to contemplate on the asubha or unpleasant nature of the body.
Okay, Ajahn. Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Next, Nini from Indonesia.
Yes, Ajahn. Ajahn, the suffering become more clear for me right now, Ajahn. Unfortunately, my mom has to do an operation because her hip is broken, and it's difficult for her to walk without doing that operation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I experience I mean, I can enjoy this. I can say that this is sad life, but meanwhile, it could not hurt my mind, Ajahn, because of Thank you for.
You should also look forward to yourself being the next target of this sickness.
That's why I said to my mom, don't be sad. I can be like you. I can see my future in you. I mean, that happened to that could happen to me in the future like that. So my mom become more accept the condition, Ajahn.
Good. Everybody faces the same problem. We all have to get sick.
Yeah, like Ajahn said, we are in the same sinking boat. So everyone is struggling in the samsara.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for ending the suffering.
So we have to get ready, get a lifesaver. When the both thing you have a lifesaver to help you, which is the Dhamma. Your mind doesn't have to suffer with the body. Let the body suffer alone.
Yeah. That's why while taking care of my mom, I still doing the meditation because I need that. That's the meditation is the one that I need the most, Ajahn.
Yes, you
In
need
this,
to calm
in
your
this,
mind.
yeah, in
If
this
your mind
situation.
becomes calm, then it will not be affected by whatever happened.
Yeah. That's beautiful, Ajahn. Thank you, Ajahn. Thank you for the teaching. Thank you, Buddha, for the
Okay,
teaching. Thank
you're
you.
welcome. Well, I hope your mom get better soon.
Yeah, thank you, Ajahn, because she still expect to come to Ajahn birthday. That's her only holiday for right now.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you,
Good.
Ajahn.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Next, Mike from New York. Okay, you switch your name now.
Yeah, I have my actual name. Good evening, Ajahn. I have no questions today. I'm just really glad to be here and listening to everybody else's questions.
And how's your practice coming along? Okay, better?
Yeah, my practice has been pretty good. I try to practice every day. Yeah, it's just about keeping that constant mindfulness throughout my day. It really does make my meditation much better. And, if I can do some chanting before my meditation, it helps it to be better. And if I'm reading Dhamma or listening to a good Dhamma talk before I meditate or while I'm meditating, that helps me to do better too. Yeah, but I've noticed that, obviously my meditation is better during periods of extreme practice, like going on retreat and things like that. I'm able to get into deeper places in my meditation. Is that the case for most lay practitioners,
Yes,
John?
everybody needs to go into retreat to have all the time to be alone and no distraction. If you're not in a retreat, then you have to deal with all sort of distraction, which they can become hindrance to your advancement in the practice. So some people take permanent refuge in going into retreat by becoming monks or nuns. Eventually, that's what you want to do, whether you like it or not. When I first started meditation, I never thought of becoming a monk. But eventually, as you advance, you find it's crucial, it's essential to be alone, to have more time to do the practice. But that comes later. Right now, try to do as much as you can, as you are now. But as you find more peace and happiness from your meditation, then you want to do more. And you start to see things around you as being distraction, as hindrance. So you want to get away from them. Better be alone. This is the best thing to do if you want to meditate, to be in seclusion or to be in solitary existence. Because when you meditate, you don't need anything. You don't want anything. You just want to get inside to calm the mind. Because that's where the real happiness, the big happiness is. But right now, try to do as much mindfulness as you can. Okay?
Yeah, I find that I really do enjoy solitude, and that most of my problems will always stem from kind of wanting some external gratification or from some external need that I have that, in my better moments of meditation, I'm able to dismantle pretty easily. But then when I'm in my day-to-day life, they kind of swoop over me and I'll get caught in a storm of my desire for wanting to be a certain way or for a certain outcome. And I know it's not in my control, so it's like something in meditation that I am able to release, but then in my day-to-day life, I find myself grasping again.
Yes, when you find happiness from meditation, then you don't care what happened outside. It doesn't matter to you anymore because you have happiness anyway. Whether people are good or bad, they quarrel or they're loving, or doesn't bother you, because you can always be happy regardless of what happened outside of the mind. So you want to get inside the mind, get to where the mind is most happy and stay there. Okay? Mindfulness is the key. The first key is mindfulness. The second key is wisdom or knowledge of the Four Noble Truths and the three characteristics of existence. Okay?
Thank you, Fra Ajahn.
Next, we'll go to Sri and Check. Hi. Many books, requests for books.
Hi, Ajahn.
Greetings, Ajahn.
Yes. Yes, we have some requests.
Yeah. Okay,
Sending
good.
to North and South America. Both.
North and South America.
Yeah. Our friend Ricardo.
Ricardo. Okay.
Yeah, so we're happy to be sending. Yeah. Dajan, can you help me? Can you explain this one? I read in your book, Sabe Dhamma Anatta, Sabe Sankara Anicca, Sabe Sankara Dukkha. So how come the Anatta, the Anicca and Dukkha is different from the Anatta one?
Well, Sankara means anything that is being combined, things like the body. The body is a combination of the four elements. So whatever thing that is being combined, they will have to dissolve one day. This is anicca, impermanent. Sabbe sankhara. Everything that has been combined, like the body, the trees, anything that is combined by the four elements. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or the five element, the fifth, the mind also combined with the body. This thing will dissolve. They'll separate after a while. So they don't last forever. That's what the word anicca means. Sape sankhara anicca. Any sankhara, they don't last forever.
So sankhara is not here. Is not thinking. It's not the
No. Anything compounded things, mental or physical.
So here is a different meaning here. Here is the for the compound. You say that together. The compounding condition. Something.
Yeah, compounded things are conditioned. Like the body is a compounded thing. It's compounded by the four element. Five element, the mind. The mind is separate from the body, but it's connected to the body in order for the body, the human body to exist.
So they all anicca. Therefore they are all dukkha.
Yes, because when you lose something, are you happy or sad? When you lose your body, are you sad or happy?
Sad.
Okay. It's not the body that is being sad, it's the one who possessed the body that is being sad. Dukkha is not in the body. Dukkha is in the mind of those who possess the body or any compounded thing. Now when you lose sway, you become sad or happy. It depends, right? Whether you love him or hate him. But usually you love things, that's why you keep them, you have them because you love them. So when you lose them, you feel sad. So this
Yeah.
is sabbe sankhara anicca, sabbe sankhara dukkha.
Dukkha. Ah.
And the last one, sabbe dhamma
Sabbe
anatta.
Dhamma anatta.
Why not
Dhamma is
why not sankhara? Dhamma is those 6 elements. They are not sankhara. They are individual element that exist forever. They don't break down or anything. They are not anicca. They are not dukkha. There's no self in them. That's all.
oh.
They are elements.
Oh.
The water element, the earth element, the fire element, the wind element, the space element, and the knowing element.
Knowing
These are
element.
Dhamma.
Oh.
They are not compounded things. They are one solid thing, and they never change.
Oh.
Look at the water. The water never change. Earth never change.
Yeah.
But they have no self in them.
Oh.
And Dhamma is consistent of two parts. The compounded things and the non-compounded thing refers to the Dhamma here. So the body is also no self, even though it's a compounded thing. It's considered to be part of the Dhamma.
Oh.
Okay, Dhamma means anything and everything.
Oh. Oh.
You can point to anything and you can say no self in those things.
Oh.
Point to the body, no self in the body. Point to the automobile, there's no self in the automobile.
Yeah.
Point to a pencil, point to a book, there are no self in those things.
Yeah.
Okay,
The Dhamma is a consists of everything.
everything and anything, anything and everything.
Yeah.
Compounded or not compounded things.
Oh. But sankhara is a
Compounded things. They
Oh.
they have the 4 elements. They're formed by the 4 elements, 5 elements or 6 elements. Depends on how you look at it.
But the non-compounded things, they are permanent. They are not impermanent.
Well, he didn't say this in the. I just
Oh.
said it myself, but in the context, they are no self. They are anatta.
Oh.
Compounded or not compounded, they are anatta. There's no
Oh.
self in any. Because the body is made from the non-compounded thing, the 4
Yeah.
elements.
Yeah.
And since the non-compounded thing is no self, so when they form a body, there could not be self in this body either. Or there is in this body just the 4 elements.
Yeah.
So the body is also no self. The body is a Dhamma also,
Oh.
compounded Dhamma. There are 2
Oh.
types of Dhamma, compounded Dhamma and non-compounded Dhamma.
Oh. Oh. 2 types of Dhamma. Okay.
Anything and everything. Mostly everything is compounded thing. Books, automobile, houses, human, animal, they're all compounded thing. Only 6 elements that are not compounded thing.
Oh. Okay.
But they're called Dhamma. They're all called Dhamma. Compounded Dhamma and non-compounded Dhamma. Then there is no self in any of these things. No self in the mind, the knowing element. But the delusion in the mind creates a self in the mind. And when it possesses the body, it also creates the delusion, create the perception that the body is also a self belonging to the mind, myself. When you talk about the body, you say, this is my body, right? Myself.
Yeah.
But the truth is, the body is just a 4 element.
Oh,
And the mind is just a knowing element. No self in the body, no self in the mind. No self in the space element. Space is a vast area. Empty.
empty. Yeah, since very young in elementary school, we would be asked to write about myself, the topic. Like when you go to school, the children will have to write about when you start to make
Writing essays.
short essay. The first thing usually the teacher will say, myself, write about yourself.
Okay, because it's all about delusion here in this world we live in.
And if you write no self, then you get 0 mark. Then.
If you say I'm just a 4 element, my body is just a 4
Got all
element,
the wrong food.
and I'm just a knowing element.
Yeah.
And the body say, what? What are you talking about? See, this type of knowledge doesn't exist in the academic world. It only
No.
exists in the Buddhist world.
Yes. But if a child could write that, then that's a very wise child. That must
That's
be
right.
a
A
child from,
bodhisattva, probably a bodhisattva.
yeah. Today is Sui's non-birthday, Ajahn. You're talking about birthday. I think you say you encourage your
To
student.
celebrate no birthday.
No birthday, yeah.
No birthday.
No birthday for Sui.
Yeah, I'll
No cake.
celebrate no
No
birthday.
cake. No celebration.
But anyway, we are good. We are keeping it precept, like once a week. Last Saturday, I think is good, like our practice like meditation. So going back to the Dharma, Tan Ajahn. So for one who has enlightened meanings, like it just basically go back to its original state then, right? Because the mind go back to the knowing element, the body of course die and then go back to 4 elements. Isn't this like is the one like Arahant or Buddha, like it's just like all this like go back to original states.
So that you don't suffer any sadness.
And there's no self, no dukkha.
Dukkha only exists when you see yourself in anything. When you see yourself in anything, then you become attached to them. Because this is myself, belonging to me. But they are anicca, they will have to leave you one day. So when they leave you, they'll make you sad, make you unhappy. But if you see nothing as a self, then you see the rain, the weather, then you don't have any sadness with the weather, right? You can take the weather any way it comes, hot or cold, rain or not.
Yeah. Now yes. But when I was young, no. Because I want to go swimming and then when it's raining, then I'll be very upset
Then
with the weather.
then you get suffering, you get dukkha.
Yeah.
Because you don't
That's
see it as anatta, you see it as something that you can control.
Yeah, or something that I don't want to. I don't like.
Something you can get rid of.
Yeah, okay. So in other words, like Nibbana is like mainly like just go back to these all 6 original states, like 5. The
No,
knowing
the
element.
mind, Nibbana is the mind that has no cravings for anything.
I see. Yes.
When you see everything as anicca, dukkha, anatta, then you don't have any craving for them. Then you have Nibbana, the state of mind that is free from suffering. You know how to deal with things properly. You know how to deal with the earth element, the fire element, the wind element, the water element, the knowing element, the space element. You just leave them alone, that's all. Don't be attached to them. Don't be attached to anything. You can only do this when if you have jhana. Then you're happy. And so when you lose anything, you don't feel sad because you can still be happy. But if you don't have jhana, then you feel terrible when you lose something because you have no replacement.
Yeah.
So you have to build a replacement first before you can give up things completely, totally, permanently. So jhana is very essential for giving up your attachment to sensual objects, sensual pleasures. Right now you rely on sensual pleasures for your very existence. You need to see, hear, feel, touch, and anything to make you happy. Any day when you cannot see what you want to see, then you become sad, right?
Oh yeah.
But if you have jhana, then you don't feel sad. You can go without any sensual objects. Okay.
Okay.
Is that all?
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ajahn.
Thank
You're
you, Tan Ajahn.
welcome. Next, Elena. Elena, are you from Moscow or from St. Petersburg?
Hello, Ajahn. I'm from Nizhny Novgorod, from Russia.
I see. Is this the first time here, or were you here with Maria before?
Yes, it's my first time here.
See, you know Maria?
Yes, I know.
Okay. What can I do for you?
I have questions, but I want to say that I'm trying to keep focus on my body, and when it's possible, I try to focus on my emotions, my thoughts, and I notice them too. When I notice sadness and isolation from world, I observe them and discover my ego, my self, and then this, then I discover it. Then I observe it. It's disappear. Sadness and these negative emotions. I so and when you asked me a question, I'm happy or not. I think that I realized that I'm happy when I help someone. This only I feed someone and something.
Yes, when you do good karma, you feel happy. When you do bad karma, you feel bad, you feel sad. So avoid doing bad karma and do only good karma. But you can have a more better happiness from meditation. If you can meditate and enter into jhana, then you have a much bigger happiness than the happiness from doing good karma.
No, I haven't happiness when I meditate, but I think I must meditate more, maybe.
Then you have to be mindful of your body all the time. Just your body. Don't be mindful of other things. Just mindful of the body.
Okay.
Okay. Then your mind will be still. And when you meditate, be mindful of your breath. Have you meditated with using your breath as your meditation object?
What is
Um,
I practice
Anapanasati. Yes,
Yes.
this is mindfulness of your breathing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just pay attention to your breath and don't think. The goal is to stop thinking. So just focus on your breath. In, out at the tip of your nose. That's all you have to do when you meditate. Don't think, because as soon as you think, your mind will become distracted. You want to bring the mind to full focus, to oneness, by staying with the breath only. If you start to think, then your mind start to scatter. When your mind scatters, then it cannot enter into jhana, cannot become calm or still. You want to get to jhana because that's where real happiness is. The better is the happiness from jhana.
Mm-hmm.
Once you have jhana, then you have the ability to give up other type of happiness. You can give up happiness from entertainment, from friends, from people. You don't need them. You can be alone and be very happy.
Mm-hmm.
Because in the end, you end up being alone anyway, right? Nobody will be with you forever. So better learn how to be happy being alone now. So that one day when you have nobody around you, you can still be happy. So be mindful of your body when you're not meditating. When you're doing things, be mindful of your body action. And then when you meditate, then you be mindful of your breath. That's all you have to do. Then your mind will become calm and still and happy. You have any question?
No, thank you, Ajahn, for teaching.
Okay.
Thank you.
Have you joined Maria's group when she came here, when she traveled?
No, I'm in Russia and she's in Japan, maybe.
In Japan right now, huh?
In Japan, yeah.
Okay. All right. Thanks for coming in. I'll go to India now, okay? For Nita and Saget.
Namaskaran, Craft Raja.
Namaste.
Namaste.
Namaskar is in Thai, right?
Yes, we also say namaskar in Hindi.
Okay, that's what. Is it Hindi word or is it Sanskrit? I think Sanskrit, right?
Yes. Hindi has its root in the Sanskrit language. Yes, Raj.
Okay. So what can I do for you today?
I had a couple of questions, Rajan. One is around restlessness. So I've been noticing over the past week, ever since my parents headed back, that my mind is often quite restless when I sit to meditate. In the beginning, it was very difficult for me to get back into my meditation practice. And I feel very restless, feel like changing posture, etc. Could you please suggest any effective ways of dealing with restlessness?
Yes, restlessness is the result of lack of mindfulness. So all you need to do is bring back mindfulness. Once you have mindfulness, then restlessness will disappear. Just recite Bhutto, Bhutto, Bhutto for 5 minutes, and you can, like somebody said earlier, when before meditating, sometimes they do some chanting first to bring the chanting or reciting a mantra can bring your mindfulness back.
Yes. Okay, Frajan. And also recently you spoke about medical treatment. And if I remember correctly, you mentioned that if it's a very minor ailment, then, something which will go away on its own, then many times monastics will just wait for it to pass. And if it's something that needs treatment, then treat. And if it's something that, you're going to die anyway, whether you do it or you don't do it,
And
then
then don't do
then
anything.
don't worry about it.
And
Yes.
let it go. Let go of your attachment to the body.
Yes. And but also, Frajan, there may be certain situations where, there's a treatment which may extend your life, maybe, 5 years or 10 years. But it also may or may not work. So in that situation, what would the decision
You
maybe?
have to ask yourself, what is the purpose of living longer? If there's no purpose, then there's no need to live longer.
Mm.
But if you say you still have some purpose left, that you're still not enlightened yet, and you want the remaining time to devote to your practice, then you might have to take this option. But if you're already enlightened, then you ask yourself, why bother stay any longer? Because the longer you stay, the more suffering you have to endure with the body. That's what the Buddha said. When first he told Ananda that I can extend my life longer if I wanted to. This is to ask indirectly Ananda's whether he's willing to support him or not, because Ananda is his personal attendant. But since Ananda didn't say anything 3 times, every time he said this, Ananda then asked him to please extend your life. I'll be happy to support you. He didn't say this. So eventually the Buddha said, Ananda, I have decided to not extend my life anymore. I will pass away in 3 months' time. And then Ananda said, oh, please stay longer. The Buddha says, it's too late now. I told you 3 times and you never asked me to stay. But since I have decided not to extend my life, I cannot go back on my decision anymore. But he also gave encouragement to Ananda, said, after my passing away, you will have full time to do the practice. And in 3 months' time, you will become enlightened. This is a consolation.
Yes.
So it depends on whether is there any purpose for living on it. To live just to satisfy your defilement, then it's not worth the price to pay for. But if you live because you want to become enlightened, and you need more time to do it, then just go ahead. But if you just want to live to enjoy more sensual pleasure, then it's not worth it.
Yes. Thank you, Frajan.
Okay. And you, Nita?
I have one question for Ajahn. So, like Saket was mentioning, the parents had come, so we were not really practicing formal sitting meditation. So, after a long time, yesterday we sat for a 6 hours meditation, and it was quite challenging for me as well. Of course, I had some sickness also yesterday. And my mind was totally distracted. I tried all ways, like um, I tried chanting, I tried focusing on my breath, I tried looking at the mind. So I tried various methods, but nothing worked for long. So mine was totally rebellious, and I just wanted to get up and go. Many times I got up and then I came back again and sat. And I thought that's the best I could do is at least sit for 6 hours, even though I'm all over the place. So my question is like when the mind is so rebellious, what is the right approach when we are doing 6 hours?
The best approach is to get your mindfulness back. And that means you have to recite a mantra or watch your breath or meditate or whatever.
To keep trying.
Yeah, just keep trying. Other method doesn't work. The mindfulness, since you lose mindfulness, you have to bring your mindfulness back. Or you might be able to use wisdom to help you also by accepting that the body is subjected to sickness and death.
Yes.
And this might be able to calm your mind down.
Hmm. Yes, I'll try again. Yeah, 6 hours is a bit challenging, but yeah, I at least was happy that I endured and I didn't just got up and left.
Yeah, just try to do it as much as possible. Sometimes it's easy, sometimes it's difficult.
Right.
Depends on your state of mind.
Yes.
If your mind is restless, you'll find it very difficult to do it. If your
Mm.
mind is not restless, then you'll find it easier.
Mm.
But just keep doing it, because the more you do, the more strength of mindfulness you would have, and your practice will become more easier as you move along, as you move forward. Just keep practicing as much as possible.
Thank you, Praja. I had one more question, not related to meditation, but recently, I was just reading about the culture that the Jain tradition follows, that they eat certain vegetables and they avoid certain vegetables which are grown uh,
Underground.
underground. And the reason is that they say that in the underground vegetables there are more um, uh, living beings with one aggregates, and that is why they tend to avoid it. And I was like, I had never thought about one aggregate or two aggregate beings. So I was wondering, what are they? And then is it true that then we should avoid such veggies, or like, oh, how should I approach this one?
Vegetable has no mind, so it doesn't know anything.
Uh-huh.
So you eat vegetable, it doesn't hurt them. They don't feel hurt from being eaten.
Mhm.
They're just like dead meat. Yeah, dead meat. They don't feel anything. They don't know anything. But live meat, there's still a mind attached to it. So it's the mind that suffer when somebody eat the meat of the alive meat.
Mhm.
So as long as things are not alive, then it's okay to eat.
Okay.
But if they're alive with the spiritual being attached to it, with the mind attached to it, then you don't want to hurt or harm that body. But once if the animal dies, then there's no mind attached to it. Then there's no hurting the mind. Then you can eat the the body of the animal.
Well, thank you. This was quite enlightening. Thank you, Raja.
Okay, but see, in ancient India, people still believe that trees have spiritual being attached to it. So when you cut a tree, you're hurting the spiritual being that is attached to it. But the truth is, there's no spiritual being. The mind is not attached to the body, to the trees or or vegetables or anything like that. But in order to conform with the belief, the Buddha prohibited monks to chopping down trees. If the monk needs to have tree chopped down, the monk will ask a layman to do it for him instead. Even now, monks are not allowed to cut branches of a tree or chop down a tree, just because it's part of the monastic code. So we have to follow this. If we need to have a tree chopped down or branches cut, we'll ask the lay people to do it for us.
I didn't understand the reason behind it, Ajahn.
The reason is that in ancient India, people believe that the tree has spirit,
Okay.
has a mind attached to it.
Okay.
But the Buddha knew that there was no spirit attached to a tree.
Hmm.
So to kill a tree doesn't consist of being a bad karma.
Hmm.
but you can cut the tree down. But people believe that this is not the case. They believe that when you cut a tree down, you're committing a bad karma.
Okay.
So being a monk, you have to show how pure your monastic code is. So you cannot do it. But you can ask the lay people to do it instead. People who doesn't have who doesn't keep the 5 precepts once, they can do it for you.
And Frajan, they say certain foods are more conducive to meditation as compared to others. Do you think there's any truth to that?
Yes, some food can increase your sexual desire, but you have to avoid those food, like
Right.
milk and cream and stuff like that.
Okay.
They tend to when you eat it, they tend to create more sexual desire in the mind.
Oh, like desserts. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure which, but I heard I mentioned about milk and dairy products. They can cause you to have more sexual desire. But as long as you have moderation in eating, then this is probably okay if you eat just moderately. Because when you eat a lot, you feel full, then your sexual desire come up easily, more than when you're hungry. So try not to eat too much, regardless of what type of food. Eat enough to get rid of your hunger, but don't eat it to make you feel full. Because when you feel full, you feel comfortable. When you're comfortable, you want to have sex. Okay.
Thank you, Frajan.
Thank you,
You're
Fran.
welcome. Next, Ricardo, Uruguay.
Hello, Tanajan. Thank you for your answers to share. I have no questions today. I just want to thank Sui and Czech that they are very gently sending your books. So I'm very happy to receive them. And
Okay.
I'm also very happy to be here today for us, and to share and learn from your teachings and the Buddha teachings. So thank you.
You're welcome. Happy always to have you join us.
Thank you. Same. Be well,
Okay.
Tanajan.
Next, I'll go to Vignes, Maha Vignes. Hi. You have to unmute your microphone first.
Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, can you speak closer, louder?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes, that's better.
Yeah. First of all, I pay my respect to you, Ajahn. Thanks for your teaching and advice. I just keep practicing, and mindfulness is very hard all the time, But I'm trying my best.
Yes, because you're so busy, so you have to think a lot. So practicing mindfulness on your working day is very difficult to do.
When I was working. Yeah.
Mhm. It's easier when you're not working.
Yeah. So that means I have to reduce my work and
Yes, reduce your work and try to find a quiet place to be alone. Then it will be easier for you to practice mindfulness and meditation.
Okay. When I was doing meditation, sometimes it's okay, but sometimes I feel drowsiness. Like when there's no thoughts at all, but I feel drowsy. I couldn't explain whether I'm falling asleep or drowsiness or laziness. I didn't feel anything at all.
It depends on when you meditate. If you meditate after the meal, you'll feel drowsy, easy.
Okay.
So meditate before you eat.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah. And another thing is when we go to nirvana, when the, in high stage the monk go to nirvana stage, like Buddha and normal person go to nirvana is both same, like merged together. It's merged with Buddha.
Can you speak louder, please? I couldn't hear you.
No, when we meditate, when people go to the very arahat stage, the high stage of nirvana, so the Buddha's mind and his mind is a same mind. It's like merging with Buddha.
It's not merging, it's just similar.
Similar.
It's like building a similar model of an automobile.
Oh yeah.
Two separate automobiles with the same model, everything exactly the same.
It's,
When you
so,
become
I mean,
enlightened, your mind will be like not the mind of the Buddha.
but it's not the Buddha's mind. Or
No,
Buddha's
the
mind
Buddha's
is
mind is
separate.
separate from your mind. You don't
Oh.
join with him. You don't join with him.
Oh, okay.
It's like two separate cars, two separate automobiles, but they're
Oh,
same
yeah.
model, same make, everything the same.
Okay, okay. I thought it's merging it together.
No,
Oh.
no merging.
Okay.
You're just making your mind similar to the Buddha's mind. Right now, your mind is not similar because you have defilement, cravings.
Yes. Yeah.
Once you can get rid of cravings and defilement, then your mind will become pure like the Buddha.
Oh.
That's what Nibbana is, pure mind.
Pure mind. It's a long way to go.
Not really. You're so close. It's inside your mind. That's not. It's a very short way. You just make it long yourself. That's all. Just tell yourself it's right here now. It's Nibbana. All you need to do is stop your craving. That's all.
Yeah, exactly.
What's so hard about that?
I know.
You cannot stop your craving. That's why you feel it's very far away from you.
Craving for work.
Craving for everything.
Everything.
Okay, understand now?
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Yeah.
Okay, you're welcome.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Next, Gary from Singapore.
Good evening, Ajaan. Good to see you. I have no questions. Just happy to be listening in and
Okay. Good to see you too. Next, Philip from Malaysia.
Good evening, Tanajan. I'm here to pay my respects. I don't have any questions tonight from my side.
Go to James. You're from the USA, right? I can
Yes,
remember.
Ajahn.
Okay.
I'm from Texas.
Okay, what can I do for you?
I wanted to ask. I practiced the 8 precepts last week. I think it was Friday, and I wasn't that hard on myself this time because I took your advice and only did it for as much as I could. And I was walking along this reservoir near my house, and I started thinking why why we keep chasing after like TVs and movies and other like PBS stuff, and I was just like, why couldn't I live without this, or like why was this so hard to give up?
Why? Because you don't have happiness inside yourself. So you go look for happiness outside of yourself. They give you temporary happiness. Every time you watch a TV program, you can feel happy while you're watching it, but they don't last. That's all. That's the problem with things that you go after. You have to keep going after them again and again and forever. But if you can discover the happiness within yourself, the happiness from meditation, then you can then stop going after things. That's
also
what we
want
try
to
to do. We try to switch. Instead of looking for happiness outside, try to look for happiness inside. And you need mindfulness to do this. Mindfulness and meditation to get inside your happiness inside.
how to did the Buddha ever say anything about like dealing with like intrusive thoughts?
They are in hindrance to your meditation. You have to stop them all. Or don't pay attention to them when you meditate. Just focus on your meditation object only.
And I also wanted to ask, like, what's a good beginner like sutta to chant? Like, you know, a short one or like one that's easy to remember.
Well, there are so many chants. In Buddhism, we usually chant about the triple gem quality, the quality of the Buddha, the quality of the Dhamma, and the quality of the Sangha. Iti piso bhagava arahang samma sambuddho vichācarana sampanno. If it's too long for you, then you can just use the triple gem as a refuge. Buddhang saranang gacchami, dhammang saranang gacchami, sanghang saranang gacchami. But you have to keep repeating them again and again until your mind becomes calm enough to meditate.
And then I also wanted to ask, like, I've been thinking about that I've been having this struggle of deciding what I want to do in my life. You know, I'm a young guy. It's a common thing among, you know, teenagers. And I know I don't want to work the rest of my life chasing material desires that I know won't bring me happiness in the end. So I'm just kind of deciding, like, you know, there's still things I want to do in the material world, but I also know that, like, it's a lot of it is not going to bring me happiness in the end. Like, I want to go travel, I want to go see the world, but I, you know, I also know that the things I chase, like guitars and music and things like that, you know, are impermanent. So, you know, I'm kind of struggling with, like, do I want to ordain or do I not want to ordain? So
I think ordination comes later. Right now, all you have to do is have enough time for your practice first. So you might have to divide up your time, half for your worldly pursuit and half for your spiritual pursuit first. And until you start to experience some result from your meditation practice, then you will want to have more time for your spiritual pursuit. And eventually then you want to become ordained. But right now you don't have to think about ordaining. Just try to look for a time that you can practice the 8 precepts and meditate and practice mindfulness all day long first. At least once a week, can you find time to do that for spiritual pursuit only and nothing else? It's like a Christian Sabbath day. A Christian Sabbath day, you give up worldly pursuit and then you go for the spiritual pursuit. Same way in Buddhism, we have a Sabbath day called the Uposatha, which is the 8 precept day. So practice the 8 precept and practice mindfulness and meditation on that day. Don't do anything else except for maintaining your body once a week. Then you might be able to realize some of the happiness that from this practice. And if you do, you will become more inspired to do more.
I had one last question. I'm also kind of struggling to choose which school of Buddhism I really want to, like, pursue. Like, I like the teachings of Theravada, but the Vajrayana path, I don't know, feels like I like the feel of it more. It's difficult to, like, describe, but, like, I guess I don't know. I guess I like the cultural aesthetic of it more, or like just I don't know. I guess I kind of feel more inclined towards that one, but like I like the teachings of Theravada more, so I'm just kind of confused of which one I should choose or how I should go about trying to choose one.
Well, you just have to test drive them both, I guess, like buying a car. First you test drive the one car that you like, and then you try the other car that you also like, and then compare which one is better for you. So you have to test them both, I guess. Test Theravada, test Mahayana, and then see which you like best. Or you can use both, I don't know. If you can find them similar and they can go along, then okay. But if they are not similar and then they are conflict, then you have to decide which one is better for you. I think Mahayana still what you call the word? Still want you to do more social work, to help the world, help other people. But with Theravada, they are more Theravada is more for introvert to go inside. So it's up to you. What can you do? If you can do the introvert thing, then that would be better. That's where the real happiness is. But if you want to do the social work, you can also gain some happiness from that, but not as much as doing meditation.
Thank you for Ajahn.
Okay. All right. You're welcome.
Have a good one.
Okay. Who is next? Lavan. Hi, Lavan.
Ajahn, I have no question. Thank you.
Okay. Do we have other people besides you? We have 4 people still enter the waiting room. We still have time or don't have time now? Okay.
Okay. I got Lin.
Okay.
Yeah.
One more for Lin
Okay, one
first.
more.
You have 10 minutes left. Is she coming in?
Okay.
Okay. Hi, Lin. Did you have to wait for long?
Yes. Okay. Yes. Good evening, Ajahn.
Yes. Do you have any question?
Yes, I do. So we used to travel together with family quite often. So maybe once or twice a year. And then since I have been into meditation practice, so I decided not to travel that much. So normally I will spend time at the monastery, and my parents or family, they would come and join me in the monastery. And this time they asked me to go with them, hoping me to be able to join them with a trip. And it has been many times that I said, doesn't matter, they can go together without me. I can pay for the trip. But my parents still hoping me to go with them. So I just want to seek advice from Ajahn. Should I go or should I just stay with the practice?
It depends on who you want to make happy. Want to make yourself happy or want to make your parents happy. If you want to make them happy, then you go with them. If you want to make yourself happy, then you stay and do your practice. And explain to them that you don't find traveling enjoyable anymore. But
Yes.
whether they can take this or not, I don't know. You have to wait and see how they react. They might understand and say, okay, no problem, we can go along. If they still insist and you thought, well, maybe they had been very kind to you and raising you up, giving you this life, maybe it's worth spending time for them just to make them happy. Sometimes you might have to give up your your own happiness for the sake of other people, especially your parents.
Mm.
Think of the Ananda who served the Buddha for over 20 years. So he could have gone into seclusion and become enlightened a lot sooner, but he decided to stick with the Buddha to attend the Buddha's need.
Mm.
So this is a bodhisattva. You work for other people. This is a Mahayana tradition. If you work for yourself, this is Theravada tradition.
Mm. Mm.
So you have to decide. You cannot have them both, I guess.
That's true.
Just think maybe they only last for a few more years and they're gonna be gone. And this one trip, once a year, it's no big deal, right?
But it takes me so long to get back the momentum.
That's a problem. Huh?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, you have to decide for yourself.
Okay. Yeah.
Both choices is okay. Yeah. Do good for others first, or do good for yourself first. Theravada said do good for yourself first. Then after you become enlightened, then you can do good for other people. Mahayana said you should do good for other people before you do good for yourself. So you never get enlightened that way. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. I think we'll go
Thank
to
you. Thank you,
we'll
Ajahn.
go to B now for any question. B.
Yes, Prajan. Tonight, there are 5 questions. The first question is from the inbox. Question from Thomas. I have done a lot of bad karma in this life, and the effects are manifesting as painful feelings and sickness. I think I am bound for hell after I die. Do you have any advice for my situation?
Yes, you can prevent this from happening if you do a lot more good karma than your bad karma. So try to do a lot good karma now until the day you die, so that when you die, the content of your mind has more good karma than bad karma. Then the good karma will take effect first.
All right, thank you. The next 2 questions are from YouTube. And the first one is from Green Fidelity. How is it defined by karma whether a person will be born male or female?
By what you like. If you like a girl, then you're probably born as a boy. If you like a boy, then you're probably born as a girl.
I see. Right. And the second question is from Galerix 101. In meditation, we feel sometimes not peaceful. The busy mind comes back. What do we need to do to prevent this? And how do we trust enlightenment in order to have the will to keep practicing to enter the stream?
You just have to control your mind all the time, not just during meditation. You have to control the mind all day long from the time you wake up to the time you go to sleep. Be constantly mindful, preventing the mind from thinking aimlessly.
Okay, thank you. The next 2 questions are from Facebook, and the first one is from Antonio. When dealing with people at work, sometimes I see ill will and aversion in my mind and feel tired. How can I transform out of this?
Use loving kindness. Be nice and kind to everybody. Be forgiving if somebody did you something wrong. Forgive them.
All right. And the last question is from Olina. Could Prajan please advise if the practitioner gets stillness in the breath very quickly, but keeps focusing on the mantra or breathing, it incites more energy to the system, which is very difficult to settle. Should one drop the kamatana object and sit down just merely knowing what is going on, or do something else? Thank you.
If your mind doesn't think, then you don't need any kamatana to stop your mind from thinking. But if your mind still thinks, then you need a kamatana to prevent your mind from thinking. either a mantra or watching your breath. You don't have to use them both at the same time. You can use one or the other. You can use mantra alone, or you can use the breath alone. Depends on on how you feel. Like sometimes you're lazy to recite, then you watch your breath. Sometimes you find watching your breath can still be cannot prevent your mind from thinking. Then you might have to want to use mantra instead. So you have to decide every time you meditate which is better for you at that time. Okay.
That is all, Prajan.
All right. I think that's about all the time we have for tonight. Thank you for your company. I hope this meeting is useful and can help advance you in your practice. In the meantime, please stay mindful all the time. Keep on practicing as much as possible and be safe. And if all goes well, I'll see you all at the same time next week. Thank you and goodbye.
Thank you, Ajahn.
Nibbana
Thank you,
Ajahn.
Admin. Thank you,
Thank you,
friends.
Admin.
Bye
Thank
bye.
you.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you,
Bye.
Admin.
Bye.
Bye.